According to FOA Stat, Nigeria has the fourth largest cattle population in Africa, estimated at over 20 million cattle, including 2.35 million cows used for dairy production. Nigeria's dairy production system is mainly pastoral, as smallholder dairy farmers own majority of the cattle population in the country. These pastoralists are largely disconnected from formal dairy companies. Though they produce about 95% of the raw milk in the country, only about 5% of this milk is off-taken and processed by formal dairy companies. As a result, despite its size, the Nigerian dairy sector is largely fragmented, unorganized, and inefficient.
The dairy sector in Nigeria, within the Nigerian political economy, is so critical to us because, one, it sits at the intersection between agriculture and nutrition, and is at the heart of our strategy. The AgDev strategy has 4 pillars. Now, dairy ticks all the 4 boxes of our strategy. It ticks income, it ticks enhanced productivity, it ticks the pillar around access to nutritious food, and most importantly, in the Nigerian case, if you work in dairy, you are enhancing and establishing clear pathways for enhancing the empowerment of women.
Women play a critical role in dairy production in Nigeria, as they typically manage the production, informal processing, and sale of the raw milk and local milk products.
Da yake alhamdulillah mazajen namu su ne shanu amma mu sun ba mu na madara. Duk abin da muke son yi da madara muna yi. Duk mu dai mata kuɗin madara mazan sun ba mu na madara, mu ne da kuɗin ko miliyan kika samu da kuɗin madara nan naki ne. To muna taimaka mun gar mai gida kuɗi ya dan makale kafin ya ci kasuwa, za mu iya bashi rance ko kuma mu bada kyauta dai ka akai ƴaƴan mu makaranta. Ana iya biya in dai akwai hali.
The Nigerian Dairy Development Program, NDDP, was designed to help address the challenges affecting the local dairy sector.
Sahel was actually asked to pilot this program based on the research we had done for Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation earlier, looking at 20 value chains, narrowing down to 4, and eventually picking dairy as a key vital value chain. Now, we were very excited about this because Sahel has 2 key focus areas, agriculture and nutrition, and NDDP allows us to address both. Unlocking the potential of our sector, helping our farmers with their productivity, but also addressing nutrition. And so NDDP was born.
NDDP aimed to improve the livelihoods of the smallholder dairy farmers in Nigeria by enhancing the productivity of their cattle and integrating them into the formal dairy value chain. It also sought to demonstrate the proof of scale of processor-led dairy development initiatives. Sahel Consulting implemented the program over the last 2 years in partnership with Friesland Campina Wamco in Oyo State and LNZ Integrated Farms in Kano State, with the support of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the governments of Oyo State and Kano State. NDDP's implementation model is centered on the dairy processors to guarantee a market for the milk sourced from smallholder dairy farmers. In addition, the government at the federal and state levels played a key role in creating an enabling environment, providing grazing land in Kano and Oyo State, and extension agents to support the program.
We think working with the private sector is an opportunity to establish sustainability within the program framework, particularly where the private sector also enhances their businesses, and it becomes a win-win for both the private sector as well as for the dairy farmers, and we like this model. So both Friesland and LNZ represent the kind of industry players that have a development belief and have already begun on their own to develop the dairy sector within the confines of their capacity and business model, and we wanted to just provide a platform for scaling that mode of work. So the first thesis we brought to this program is to prove that actually a processor-led approach can work for the dairy sector, and we've proven in the last 2 years that it actually can.
Dairy was included in the government agriculture promotion policy because it is a very important value chain. We cannot talk about livestock, particularly cattle, without dairy, basically globally. And then in Nigeria, it will be easier to achieve dairy development than beef development because dairy already is a low-hanging fruit.
The Kano State government, realizing the importance of this sector, that first release, there's need for them to be settled in one place. Because of the reason of conflicts that we have been having from places all over the country, in that respect, the state government comes to understand that the program is as good as anything.
Oyo State has the largest land area in southern Nigeria, and it falls largely within the Savannah region. So naturally, it attracts the influx of herders into that region. And I think this Nigerian Dairy Development Program has been very helpful in that regard.
NDDP used a systems approach to promote dairy development. The first focus area of the program was the identification and integration of smallholder dairy farmers. The purpose of this intervention was to identify and integrate smallholder dairy farmers from selected clusters that the processors are interested in sourcing from and have established milk collection infrastructures.
NDDP, with the support of state extension agents seconded by Kano and Oyo State, as well as private extension agents, work with the dairy processors to identify and integrate new dairy households into their supply chain. In Oyo, we were able to integrate 1,440 new dairy households, while in Kano, we integrated 350 new dairy households. These households now have a ready market to buy for their raw milk instead of hawking it and selling it into local market.
The process to identify and train dairy farmers that we did with the help of the Gates Sahel program and the state government. The state government seconded some extension workers, and then the program also employed some community livestock workers to work with the extension workers in identifying and training the farmers in the community.
Akalla a ƙasar ya kai irin shekara 5 haka. Gaskiya mun samu ci gaba. Tunda a da sai dai ka tafasa ka kai kasuwa. Ka yi na ma baka dawo ba. Yanzu ko dai kana gida ka kawo a auda a baka kuɗinka. Kaga ko mun samu ci gaba. Sosai ma kuwa akan ɗaukar madarar LNZ.
They wouldn't see benefit. It's no more because they time our women, then they carry milk, then they go market, then they sell. At some time they no go come by after 10, 11. So then money more. Now we have the police who go carry, go sell. We collect our money. Our women they know they go sell again.
Ito mun amfana da yawa, tun da kin ga yanzu ma mun daina zuwa kasuwa sai da madaran nan. Nonon ma yanzu kin ga akan sabo da na saba in zauna a gida. Yanzu kunya ma nake je kasuwa kai nonon nan. Sai dai duk mai son shi zo nan gida a saya. Abinda ma nake tunawa in ji daɗi na ƙarshen zuwa na aikin haji na farko. Kuɗin madaran nan su na tara na tafi aikin haji na farko.
Local sourcing by these processors has also led to an emergence of the intermediaries called milkmen or milk vendors, who help transport milk from the dairy households to the processors' collection centers.
Ko tsautsayi ne sa ka faɗi a mashin nonon ka ba zai zube ba. sannan kuma bayan haka nonon ka ba zai lalace ba, maimakon da muna zuba a jarkan nan tana yawan bada matsala. Yanzu zuwan waɗannan tuluna an kaje maimakon da zaka sa a jarka wani lokacin ka je an je kamfani an ce in an je an auna madarka a ce ba za ta yi ba. Yanzu kuma kawai zuwan waɗannan tuluna an sami sauƙin wannan zaka je a auna nonon ka lafiya.
NDDP's second focus area was around interventions to improve farmers' productivity and the milk potential of their cows. The program had 3 productivity interventions: training and extension, feed and fodder, and artificial insemination.
Through the training and extension intervention, NDDP has built the capacity of state and private extension agents in good dairy practices modules.
Anything that you see,
The Oyo State Ministry of Agric has deployed over 25 officers in different cadres and in different categories to support this program around the Okeogun area. Livestock officers, extension officers involved in training of the farmers in so many areas.
we identify farmers and we train them at least 160, average of 160 farmers every month. And aside from that one, we also retrain. And after the training, at times on a module, we train like 4 weeks. Some lasted for 8 weeks. By the end of all the training, we distribute to them so that they can lay hold on it to consolidate the training given to them.
In the training and extension, we were able to train extension agents to deliver trainings, quality trainings to the farmers. And currently we have a lot of farmers who have benefited from this training. Another thing is farmers were able to adopt modern practices by leaving the conservative methods of dairy practices, so which I think is one of the achievements of the NDDP.
The ministry, in collaboration with NADA, Kano State Agricultural and Rural Development Authority, provided the needed extension staff that the project needs.
Sannan na biyu hada abincin dabbobin, ciyawa a aje ta zo ta zama yadda ta zama a gyara a basu, shi ma alhamdulillah. Da farko an yi mana bita akan yadda za a tsaftace madara, a samu tsaftatacciyar madara wadda za a fitar da ita zuwa kasuwanni ko kuma zangon sayarwa. Sai ta biyu an yi mana akan yadda za a hada abincin dabbobi, a daddatsa shi, a rarraba shi, a yi rami a saka shi ya zo ya zama abin da zai inganta lafiyar dabbobi, daga baya a ciro a ciyar da dabbobi.
We were very deliberate also to ensure enough representation from female extension agents in order to ensure that our women dairy farmers had adequate access to our training, given the cultural norms among Fulani communities that restrict interaction between the women and men from outside of the communities.
Most of the farmers that do collect milk is the females. So I'm happy. I taught them hygienic milk collection, the way they do collect milk, the way they will feed their animals in a hygienic way, good daily practice, and they were happy, they accepted. When I went to the community, I asked them not to collect it with plastic bowl, use aluminium to collect, and I'm happy. They do use what I taught them. They put it into practice.
Wara mana bitoci da yawa. Kamar wajen tsabtace madara in za a tatsa, wanke tuka ne, sharan nan komai ma da yake daga cikin su. Duk mun ji da kuma wannan ciyawa da suke cewa a shuka ciyawan nan. Dabbobi da ba su dusa da kuli-kulin nan da muke sayowa muna ana ba su da sauransu dai. Duk mun amfana.
Overall, we've trained 3,920 farmers in Oyo State and about 2,000 farmers in Kano State.
Access to feed is a key challenge affecting cows' productivity, and this contributes to current conflicts between herders and crop farmers. NDDP piloted a market-based approach to increase farmers' access to quality feed and fodder for all their cows.
NDDP supported local farmers with access to land to become commercial fodder producers and establish about 295 hectares of land in Oyo and 95 hectares in Kano. So the commercial fodder producers had to show land ownership. They had to fence and clear their land, while the program supported them with mechanized services for land preparation, with plant inputs, fertilizer, as well as training and technical support around pasture production. And post-harvest, they sold the hay and silage that they produce to participating farmers at subsidized rates. And they kept the proceeds from the sales and are expected to plow it back in future seasons.
Part of the measures under the program is development of fodder. Currently, there are about 70 farmers who have become fodder producers. About 300 hectares have come under cultivation for fodder, yielding something in the region of 750,000 tons of feed for the animals per annum. And I mean, this is just the beginning within a 2-year period. The idea is to use this to sensitize the farmers about the potentials of this program if they commit to it. I mean, it means that there is a large opportunity for growth in fodder production and for the health of the cattle as well.
Lọ́dún tí mo kọ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn ní 2017, wọ́n fún wa ní àwọn nǹkan tí a lè gbìn tí a sì lè ṣe. Wọ́n fún wa ní bacteria, wọ́n fún wa ní labla, wọ́n fún wa ní maize. Wọ́n kọ́ wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bá ṣe máa gbìn, dẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ fún wa lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Wọ́n tún fún wa ní fertilizer tá a máa lò, àwọn NDDP yẹn. Nígbà yẹn inú àwọn àgbẹ̀ yẹn dùn. Wọ́n ṣe ibi tí a ń kó àwọn ibà wa sí, dẹ̀ wọ́n tún ṣe ìwò tá a gbé àwọn sálèjì wa tá a fi pamọ́ sí. Èrè ń bẹ́ẹ̀ gidigidi tí à ń jẹ lórí ètò tí àwọn Sahel tí wọ́n gbé jáde fún wa.
Domin kaga da lillahi wa rasulihi yanzu ma shanu sun tafi sun tashi sun tafi da maturu, amma bana kaga sanadiyar samun wannan abinci mun ma haƙura ba yadda zamu, domin mun san koda wannan muke da shi ya ƙare insha Allah akwai wannan zamu ci gaba da basu. Muna samun abincin dabbobi cikin sauƙi kuwa, domin tunda Allah ya kawo mana wannan NDDP sun nuna yadda ake abincin shanu wato saleji. Suna ba mu shi kuma akan farashi mai sauƙi.
Artificial insemination aims to improve the milk yield of local breeds by crossing them with the semen from exotic breeds.
Cows' higher yields is a function of nutrition and genetic. So you can only improve the genetic through artificial insemination, that is crossbreeding, to get a higher exotic bloodline. And this is an area the project was willing to support and is supporting.
The resulting crossbred retains some of the ruggedness of the local breeds and can still withstand the local climate while being able to produce between 7 and 15 liters of milk per day. The use of artificial insemination has been a key success factor in countries such as Kenya and India as part of their transition from pastoral to semi-intensive and intensive dairy production systems.
So through this intervention, which is still ongoing, we are expecting by June 2019 to inseminate about 2,400 cows in Oyo and close to 500 cows in Kano State with semen from exotic breeds. And this is meant to result in about 1,000 crossbreds.
In addition, as part of this intervention, NDDP has contributed to building the technical capacity needed to support the development of the sector. 15 youths in Oyo and 5 in Kano with animal science or veterinary backgrounds were selected and trained to support the intervention as artificial insemination technicians.
Before this program, actually, I don't know how to inseminate an animals. But now, since from the beginning of this program, I've inseminated more than 50 cows. We have the protocols that we use in this program. So actually, I have the plans. After this program is over, I can go back to my community and establish an enterprise for AI, or to open a shop that I can go and do AI in different farms.
NDDP's third focus area is around infrastructure development interventions, with the provision of milk collection centers and milk evacuation vehicles by the processors, and the procurement and distribution of milk cans to participating dairy farmers to improve milk hygiene and quality.
The NDDP is a processor-led project, and we have our own commitment that we need to make. One of which was we need to provide evacuation vehicles that are refrigerated, which we invested in. That is for the raw milk of the factory. We need to establish milk collection centers with the necessary infrastructure, which we did. And also we need to improve our capacity to offtake more milk, more raw milk, which is very delicate and highly perishable. But recently, the project has been able to come to our rescue in terms of power supply to the milk collection centers. And then the project now on the delivery, that is the hygienic aspects that we said they've trained the herdsmen and the pastoralists on how to handle the milk hygienically. But it did not stop there. There should be right containerization of the milk, and that the project came to our rescue by providing canisters.
Friesland, Campina, Wanko, they provided all necessary infrastructures to make it possible for the company to be able to collect milk from all these herders. What they did was that they built milk collection centers in 5 places.
Perhaps the most visible of these interventions is the construction of solar-powered boreholes in participating communities.
Most of this community, before the program, there is no water, and water is life. So the introduction of the solar-powered borehole improved their living standard because they can now use water to wash, clean, and do so many things.
Tunda dai ruwan nan da mu shine babban laruran, babu shi sai mun tafi nisa mun je mun nemo ruwan nan. Wani sa'in ma karfe 2 na dare kana gurin nemo ruwa. Dan kaga yanzu nan hanya ce da shanu suke biyowa su zo nan su sha ruwa. Nan ma shanu ne suke biyowa su zo su sha ruwa. Kuma yanzu yaran mu ma da makaranta ba sa samun damar zuwa saboda tafiya nemo ruwa akan lokaci. Amma yanzu gashi zuwan bohol din nan yanzu gashi tuni suna can a makaranta.
NDDP is a unique example of the impact that can be generated when public and private sector actors collaborate to tackle key development challenges with a focus on the dairy sector. The intervention has been welcomed with great enthusiasm by commercial feed producers, dairy farmers, and the government because of its potential when scaled up to help alleviate ongoing conflicts between herders and crop farmers.
The continuous interaction, especially through what I would call a trading relationship between the producers of fodder and the cattle rearers, the herders, which is developing into a mutually beneficial relationship. Everybody becomes a stakeholder, and so they are interested in the peace of that environment, which is very, very important, especially in Nigeria of today.
By making the Fulani producers to aggregate around some basic infrastructure and getting them to cluster around milk collection and allow relationships to be forged between them and commercial processor, you are encouraging a very conscious sedentarization. When they become sedentary and there is pasture and fodder during off-season, then the tendency for them to wander around and go into some skirmishes with crop farmers is reduced, conflict is therefore reduced.
If all the herdsmen that are causing trouble, that are kidnapping, they are killing, get meaningfully engaged, and they now divert their attention into raising their cows in a way that is commercially viable, they make money. You can imagine the number of youth that will be engaged, and also overall the current security challenges in the country. There's no commercial solution than this project. So I think this is a revolution that has been started.
I like the opinion that, or the idea that we work together and we can define the ecosystem, and if possible go ahead to create incentives that will make these people to put more investment in the local dairy development.
Over the last 2.5 years, it's been quite a journey, and we've really seen the power of partnerships. When you can bring stakeholders together who all have something valuable to bring to the table, you can transform lives. And that's what NDDP has been able to do. And I'm really excited about the opportunity to scale this, to scale our lessons, to scale our impact, and to work with other partners to ensure that we can tell a different story about pastoralist communities and about dairy Nigeria.